In the sun-scorched Middle East, history remembers many but few like Salahuddin Ayyubi, the Lion of Islam. His legacy is not just of battles but of faith, mercy, and justice. Born in a fractured world, he became a beacon of hope, uniting people with his character and compassion. He saw Jerusalem suffering and vowed to restore its dignity not for glory, but for a higher purpose. Imagine a leader who after victory chose compassion over vengeance and gave away his wealth to the needy. Salahuddin's story is a living lesson. True greatness is measured by justice and the purity of one's heart. As we journey through his life, we'll see how sincere faith and a compassionate heart can change history. His story reminds us, true leadership is service, true strength is mercy, and true victory is won in the hearts of humanity. Salahuddin's journey began in Tikrit, born into a respected Kurdish family in 1137. Forced to leave their home the night he was born, his family's path was shaped by fate and faith. Raised in Baalbek, Salahuddin was quiet, thoughtful, and deeply religious, drawn more to the Quran than to the sword. His education, rooted in Islamic values, shaped his sense of justice and compassion. Guided by his father's wisdom and his uncle Shirkuh's military acumen, he learned both governance and strategy. Unlike others, he found strength in humility and a deep connection with the Creator. This spiritual foundation planted in his youth would guide his mission to heal and unite the Muslim world. Salahuddin inherited a world divided, Muslim lands fractured, the Abbasid Caliphate weakened, and Jerusalem under Crusader rule. The Crusaders' conquest of Jerusalem in 1099 was marked by brutality and desecration of holy sites. For decades, Muslim rulers fought each other, sometimes even allying with Crusaders against their own. The spirit of unity and justice was lost, replaced by selfish ambition. Salahuddin saw the suffering and knew that Jerusalem could not be liberated without first uniting the Muslims. The real enemy was not just the invader but internal strife and division. His mission, unite the Ummah under faith and justice before reclaiming the holy city. Only through unity could the chains on Jerusalem be broken. Salahuddin's rise began in Egypt, not by ambition but by destiny. After his uncle Shirkuh's death, Salahuddin became vizier in 1169, surprising many who underestimated him. He abolished the Fatimid Caliphate, restored Sunni Islam, and reformed Egypt with justice and compassion. He built schools, hospitals, and eased the burdens of the poor, making his court a place of fairness for all. Salahuddin's personal involvement in his people's lives became legendary. He walked the streets in disguise to ensure justice. His reforms transformed Egypt into a stable, prosperous society, rooted in mercy and equity. This period honed his skills as a statesman and deepened his commitment to his ideals. Egypt became his stronghold, ready to support his greater mission. He proved that true power lies in serving the people, not ruling over them. From Egypt, Salahuddin would launch his campaign to unite the Muslim world and reclaim Jerusalem. With Egypt secure, Salahuddin turned to uniting Syria, Iraq, and Arabia, not for empire but for the Ummah. He used diplomacy, patience, and when needed force, always preferring negotiation over bloodshed. Many rulers resisted, but Salahuddin's restraint and mercy won hearts. He took Damascus by invitation, then extended his influence over Aleppo, Mosul, and beyond. In each new territory, he implemented justice and reform, showing that unity brought prosperity. By 1186, after years of effort, Salahuddin had united the Muslim lands from Egypt to Iraq. This was more than politics, it was a spiritual revival, rekindling a shared identity and purpose. The Muslim world, once divided, now stood strong and ready. The stage was set for the liberation of Jerusalem. In 1187, the Crusader kingdom, led by Reynold of Chatillon, broke a truce, attacking a Muslim caravan. For Salahuddin, this was the final straw. Action was inevitable. He summoned a unified army from across his realm, all marching under one banner. Salahuddin lured the Crusaders into the arid terrain near the horns of Hattin, cutting them off from water. On a scorching July day, the Crusaders, weakened by thirst, faced Salahuddin's well-prepared forces. The Muslim army set fire to the dry grass, adding smoke and heat to the Crusaders' misery. With cries of Allahu Akbar, Salahuddin's troops charged, breaking the Crusader lines. The Crusader army collapsed, King Guy was captured, and Reynold was executed for his treachery. The Battle of Hattin shattered Crusader power and opened the path to Jerusalem. It was more than a victory, it was a turning point, proving unity could overcome even the strongest foes. The myth of Crusader invincibility was destroyed. The dream of liberating Jerusalem was now within reach. Salahuddin's moment had come. After Hattin, Salahuddin's forces reclaimed city after city, until only Jerusalem remained. The defenders, fearing a massacre, prepared for a desperate last stand. Salahuddin, valuing life and holy sites, offered terms of surrender marked by mercy. Christians were allowed to leave peacefully, with provisions for the poor paid from Salahuddin's own funds. There was no revenge, only safe passage and protection. On October 2, 1187, Salahuddin entered Jerusalem as a liberator, not a conqueror. He restored and cleansed the holy sites, and the call to prayer returned after 88 years. His mercy stood in stark contrast to the Crusaders' brutality. Salahuddin's conquest became a timeless lesson in forgiveness and magnanimity. Salahuddin's humility was as legendary as his victories. Despite ruling a vast empire, he lived simply, dressed plainly, and shared the hardships of his soldiers. He saw wealth as a trust for the people, giving generously to the poor and never turning away those in need. At his death he owned almost nothing, having given away his fortune in charity. He spent nights in prayer, wept at the Quran, and treated all with kindness, from rulers to peasants. Even his enemies, like King Richard, respected his chivalry. Salahuddin sent him gifts during war. He saw himself as a servant of Allah, not a mighty king, always attributing success to God's will. His humility kept him grounded, free from arrogance and corruption. Salahuddin's greatness lay in service, not self-exaltation. Salahuddin's final days reflected his life, humble, faithful, and devoted to justice. After peace with Richard, he returned to Damascus, his mission fulfilled. Worn by years of struggle, he died in 1193, leaving behind an empty treasury and a simple grave. His true monument was the love and respect of those he served. The inscription on his tomb is a prayer, not a list of titles. His death was mourned across the world, even by his former enemies. Salahuddin left a unified, though fragile, empire, but more importantly, an enduring ideal. He showed that leadership guided by faith and compassion can change history. Centuries later, his legacy inspires. True leadership is service, unity, and mercy. In a divided world, Salahuddin's story calls us to embrace compassion and justice, the lion of Islam's lasting gift.